of magnetic black. Ghostly voices that never talk back. Song after song for a heart left behind. Lyrics for someone who stayed out of mind. Testing is cracked and the signal is weak. Secrets are buried in every small squeak. Static is screaming where harmony died. Nowhere for one-sided longing to hide. Pressing down play just to feel something real. Breaking on notes that you never will feel. Just a mixtape of silence and sound. Love is a melody never quite found. One side is music, one side is white noise. Lost in the wreckage of yesterday's joy. Spinning in circles like spools on a floor. Waiting for rhythms that don't live here anymore. Slow bells bleed into high-pitched regret. Names on the case and a fade into sweat. Batteries dying, our memories kept. Staying awake while the other soul slept. Tangled up wires like a heart in a chest. Giving a song when there's nothing left to test. Is there a button to simply erase? Wiping the echo of every last trace. Maybe the hiss is the truth of the end. Broken beyond any power to mend. Just a mixtape, a silent sound. Love is a melody never quite found. One side is music, one side is white noise. Lost in the wreckage of yesterday's choice. Spinning in circles like spools on a floor. Waiting for rhythms that don't live here anymore. Click at the end, nothing to learn. One-sided track, never coming back. Stop! Oxygen leaks from a crack in the seal. Nothing remains that a person should feel. Gravity fail when you let go of hands. Scattered like dust over desolate lands. Stars look like salt on a velvet black floor. Waiting for knocks on a vacuum sealed door. Light years are stretching between every word. Prayers are the whispers that never get heard. Falling through darkness with no way to land. Reaching for ghosts of a shimmering hand. Now there's a tear in space, jagged and wide. Nowhere for one-sided lovers to hide. One heart is on fire, one heart is cold. Stories of us are the ones never told. Drifting in silence where time has no face. Lost in the hollow of this lonely place. Signals are sent, but the static is deep. Secrets are shadows that nobody keeps. Orbits are circles that never will meet. Walking on air with these shivering feet. Venus is burning, but Neptune is ice. Loving you once was a heavy set price. Is there a sound when a soul starts to fray? Millions of miles from the light of the day. Maybe the void is just beauty gone wrong. Ending a melody midway through song. Yeah, there's a tear in space, jagged and wide. Nowhere for one-sided lovers to hide. One heart is on fire, one heart is cold. Stories of us are the ones never told. Drifting in silence where time has no face. Lost in the hollow signal is dying in the 2026 haze. Where the analog goes to the digital days. Beyond the glass towers and the synthetic light, there's a basement window burning through the night. I see the ink on your skin, I see the tear in your coat. I hear the rawness gravel at the back of your throat. We don't need the glitter, we don't need the pose, just the thorns on the stem of a black petal rose. The mainstream is shallow, sanitized sea, but you're the deep current that's pulling at me. It's heavy, it's visceral, it's jagged and wide, the kind of tectonic shift happening inside. This is a celestial love, forged in the rust, a diamond born out of the grunge and the dust. Not a satellite dream or a silicon spark, but a wildfire howling through the heart of the dark. For the freaks and the poets and the real music souls, you're the gravity pull that's making me whole. Yeah, you're celestial in the most broken way. The amplifiers hum like a storm in the chest. This isn't a ballad, it's a soul under arrest, tracing the scars of the records we played before the truth was traded and the spirit was frayed. I love how you crash like a down-tuned chord in a world of echoes that I've always ignored. No auto-tune mask, no algorithmic lie, just the heavy metal blue of a Pacific sky. This is a celestial love, forged in the rust, a diamond born out of the grunge and the dust. Not a satellite dream or a silicon spark, but a wildfire howling through the heart of the dark. For the freaks and the poets and the real music souls, you're the gravity pull that's making me whole. Yeah, you're celestial in the most broken way. They can have their perfection, their hollowed out sound. We'll stay in the dirt where the treasure is found. Turn the volume to 10 until the stars start to shake. This is the only fever I don't wanna break. This is a celestial love, forged in the rust, a diamond born out of the grunge and the dust. Not a satellite dream or a silicon spark, but a wildfire howling through the heart of the dark. For the freaks and the poets and the real music souls, you're the gravity pull that's making me whole. Yeah, you're celestial in the most broken way. Yeah, you're celestial. True, keep it true. When I moved in through a crack in the glass, man, it sounded better and slow out fast. Frost cut the windows with names there should be. Everything bends like a dead leaf street. Pressers are smoking an empty dark road. Flowers are folding before they can bloom. Summer felt real and a dream was possessed. Now there is iron inside of my chest. Reaching for warmth so we meet with the gale. Leaving a fear and looking paper thin. Love is a cold food that won't ever break. your heart. Everything finished before it could start. House leads in nowhere but white out and gray. Words fading lit and nothing to say. That's what it can't hide, all the shivering feels. Crushed either way to the fitting cold wind. Is there a season of fear as the sky? Under a heavy lake, all this sky. Baby, to numb this is better than he. Walking on glass and was barefoot getting fit. Loving you cold, but I won't ever break. Higher the walls, cutting more heartaches. Standing in tall while you're chasing the sun. Losing a race that has never begun. One side of freezing, one side doesn't care. Calling to routine, to the thin mountain air. Ice in the veins, blood in the snow. Knowing for one side you wanted to go. Slowly breathe us down on these cold. The world is a hum of a billion machines, tearing the soul right out of the scenes. But here in this room with the lights burned out, I've found something real to scream about. It's not the fake lace of a pop star's dream. It's the jagged edge, it's a silent scream. I'm looking at you through the haze and the dust, past the broken parts and the layers of rust. The static dies down, the feedback recedes. You're the only rhythm that my heartbeat needs. It's heavy, it's raw, it's the gravity pull. In a world that's empty, you make it full. And I'm deeply, darkly, hopelessly in, caught in the tide where the shadow begins. It's a grunge-colored heart, it's an all-rock soul. A beautiful fracture that makes me whole. Forget the surface, let's dive in the kill. In the middle of the noise, I'm deeply still. Yeah, I'm deeply still. Scuffed up boots on a hardwood floor. I don't want the pretty I used to adore. I want the truth and the way that you breathe, the kind of honesty that won't let us leave. Like a slow chord track on a midnight drive. It's the only feeling that keeps us alive. No auto-tune filters, no digital gloss, just the weight of the gain and the gain of the loss. And I'm deeply, darkly, hopelessly in, caught in the tide where the shadows begin. It's a grunge-colored heart, it's an all-rock soul. A beautiful fracture that makes me whole. like a lone snuffed in a night tower. Nothing remains of a story you tell. All things that your vision would stay. There for a love that was never repaid. Bullets watch the creek on the pressure of wave. Silence is all that a lonely heart craves. Lie on the shoreline, it's flickering low. Knowing for what side and feelings to go. Reaching for heads that are busy with self. Watching his every last heartbeat fast. Everything's drifting away from the coast. Found in a human who holding us close. Cycles the ice into pieces of me. Watching the slow I hurry sing. One's not as sure while the other is full. Searching for ways to make this his home. It's hard to rise and we're trying to use the rise. Truth is awaiting inside your dark eyes. Letters and bottles are sinking like lead. Word for a lover, a better sad. It's a song that a bride ever was. Begging his spirit to simply be dead. It's a 4-foot ship with no name. Can never heat without any flame. Maybe the water will wash it all clean, leaving the spaces that fall in between. Yeah, everything's lifting away from the past. Loving a human but holding a curse. Cycles the ice into pieces of me. Watching the flower of what I'm being seen. One side is shore while the other is full. Searching for ways to make this his home. Blue turns to black. Don't turn back. Fading from you. Further from you. Dust fills the throat where a name used to rest. Lungs feel like lead inside this heavy chest. Sunlight is cruel on a face turned away. Shadows grow long in the heat of the day. Thirst is a fire that water won't touch. Giving a soul when a soul is too much. Mirages are dancing on shimmering sand. Reaching for ghosts of a welcoming hand. Every heartbeat is a rhythm of glass. Waiting for seasons that never will pass. Drowning in dry land, gasping for air. Loving a person who isn't quite there. One heart is ocean, one heart is stone. Deepest of blue and a soul is alone. Salt on the skin while the river runs dry. Under a hollow and cloud-covered sky. Words turn to vapor before they can land. Castles are crumbling back into sand. Visions of blue are just tricks of the light. Everything vivid is faded to white. Step after step leads to more of the same. Whispering prayers to a flickering flame. Is there a rain for a desert this wide? Is there a place for a spirit to hide? Maybe the silence is better than sound. Sinking while standing on solid hard ground. Drowning in dry land, gasping for air. Loving a person who isn't quite It settles on pictures she won't even see. Broken clocks marking time when no love used to be. Silent hallways hold echoes of whispers we ignored. Empty chairs facing windows, a heart deeply bored. Flowers wither in vases, neglected and dry. Underneath ceilings where heavy clouds fly. Words remain tethered, tongues turn to stone. Familiar shadows are dancing alone. Every heartbeat is wasted on rhythms unshared. In a world where one soul was never quite there. Hollowed out like a canyon carved deep by rain. Nothing remains but a jagged white stain. Loving feels like a mountain climbing toward clouds. Lost in a city of faceless cold crowds. Lungs gasping for air that belongs to another. Smothered by secrets no lover can smother. Golden light, it's a pillow where no head ever lays. Minutes turn into months in a blurred, lonely days. Phone screens stay dark, reflecting a ghost, feeding a hunger that consumes its own host. Rejection is quiet, rejection is slow. Watching a fire with nowhere to go. Skin feels like paper, thin and worn through. Everything vivid is faded from blue. Hope is a poison, a slow-acting drug, ending in nothing but a cold, distant shrug. Hollowed out like a canyon carved deep by rain. Nothing remains but a jagged white stain. Loving feels like a mountain climbing toward clouds. Lost in a city of faceless cold crowds. Lungs gasping for air that belongs to another. Smothered by secrets no lover can smother. Alright! In a silent static on the wire, a low and hum. The city's pulse is beating like a broken drum. We don't need the glitter, we don't want the gold. Just an honest story that hasn't been oversold. Plug it in, let the feedback scream. Waking up the ghosts inside the hollow dream. If it's raw, if it's real, if it's torn at the seams, then you know exactly what it means. I'm all yours. In the smoke, in the grit, for the kids in the basement who never quite fit. From the garage floors to the barricade lines, I'm the static in your head, I'm the rhythm in your spine. No fake smiles, no polished floors. If you're looking for the truth, then I'm all yours. Flannel on the shoulders, scuffs on the boots. Reaching for the spirit, digging for the roots. They try to dial it down, try to thin the sound, but we're building up a kingdom from the underground. It's the crunch of the pedal, the crack in the voice. In a world of echoes, we're making a choice to feel the heavy weight, to let the shadows dance. Give the soul a second chance. I'm all yours. In the smoke, in the grit, for the kids in the basement who never quite fit. From the garage pure. The distortion is the only thing that's sure. Turn it up until the walls begin to shake, for every heart that's ever had to break. In the smoke and the grit, for the ones in the back who never quite fit. From the garage floors to the barricade lines, I'm the static in your head, I'm the rhythm in your spine. No fake smiles, no polished floors. If you're looking for the truth, then I'm all yours. Yeah, I'm all yours. Just let it play. Real music is all we need. Dust on the needle, a crackle in the air, a flannel shirt and 1,000-yard stare. We're not looking for the neon or the plastic soul, just a little bit of friction to feel whole. The radio is lying, it's all sugar and lace, but I can see the hunger written on your face. For a chord that hurts, for a word that's true. This is the only way I know how to get to you. It's a heavy kind of love, it's a beautiful mess. It's the ringing it in your ears and the weight on your chest. It's not a Hallmark card or a Hollywood scene. It's the grit and the gravel, it's the space in between. For the freaks and the poets and the ones in the mud, this isn't just sound, it's a rush in the blood. Yeah, it's cheap guitar screaming through a rusted amp, a basement ceiling that's cold and damp. We found our family in a distorted line, tracing the shadows to see if they shine. They call it alternative, they call it grunge, but it's just the water before we take the plunge into the honesty, into the ache, for every promise they dare to break. It's a heavy kind of love, it's a beautiful mess. It's the ringing it in your ears and the weight on your chest. It's not a Hallmark card or a Hollywood scene. It's the grit and the gravel, it's the space in between. For the freaks and the poets and the ones in the mud, this isn't just sound, it's a rush in the blood. Yeah, it's love. You don't have to hide the scars you carry. The truth is heavy, the truth is scary, but play it loud until the floorboards break. It's the only medicine we need to take. It's a heavy kind of love, it's a beautiful mess. It's the ringing it in your ears and the weight on your chest. It's not a Hallmark card or a Hollywood scene. It's the grit and the gravel, it's the space in between. For the ones who feel everything more than they should. We're misunderstood, but we're understood. Yes, love. Real music, real love, and the distortion and the feedback. That's where we live. The radio was screaming just to fill the space with another hollow heart and a painted face. But I'm tuning to a frequency they'll never find, a low in vibration, a ghost in the mind. I see you standing in the back of the hall, where the shadows are heavy and the ceilings are tall. We don't need the anthem, we don't need the hype. We're the misfit version of the perfect type. The world is a riot, a chaotic blur, but your voice is the hum, the steady and pure. It's a jagged comfort, a beautiful bruise, the kind of salvation I'd hate to lose. In a house of feedback and broken glass, I hear your lauded whispers as the sirens pass. It's a grunge-soaked fever, soft chord fire, the only real thing in a world of liars. You don't have to shout to be understood. Love is the static that feels so good. Yeah, you're melodic whisper, black ink fading on a denim sleeve, giving us a reason to finally believe that love isn't diamonds or a red carpet walk. It's the grit in your throat when we finally talk. It's the 4 a.m. rain on a gravel driveway. It's finding the truth in a messy lo-fi way, like a record of skips on a best possible part. You're the beautiful glitch inside of my heart. In a house of feedback and broken glass, I hear your melodic whispers as the sirens pass. It's a grind-soaked fever, soft chord fire, the only real thing in a world of liars. You don't have to shout to be understood. Love is the static that feels so good. Yeah, your melodic whispers. Turn the lights down low, let the tubes get hot. Show me the soul that the other forgot. It's a quiet rebellion, it's a soulful roar, the kind of feeling worth bleeding for. In a house of feedback and broken glass, I hear your melodic whispers as the sirens pass. It's a grunge-soaked fever, soft chord fire, the only real thing in a world of liars. You don't have to shout to be understood. Love is the static that feels so good. Yeah, your light whispers.
Can you hear it under the noise? The real music, the real choice. Just a whisper, but it's louder than the world.
Steel cages rattle where ribs used to be, and nothing feels heavy and nothing feels free. And glass eyes are staring at walls painted white. Morning is just a new version of night. Pulse low to red and I'm the hotter of weeks. Sun left a tread on these hollowing cheeks. Reaching for fire, only met with the snow. Nowhere for one-sided longing to go. Now everything's frozen and numb to distant, like ghosts in a hall. The colors have faded to nothing at all. Phone calls are shadows that never arrive. Hardly feels like being truly alive. Scars have turned silver and skin has turned cold, and stories of us are now bitter and old. Is there a word for the end of the ache, when even a spirit has nothing to break? Maybe the void is a mercy at last, burying every ghost from the past. Yeah, everything's frozen and numb to the core. Heart isn't beating for you anymore. Not because healing has started to bloom, but because silence has filled every room. Once I was burning, once I was a stone. Now even misery's left me alone. Feeling is gone, winter is long, singing a hollowed out, broken down song. The skyline flickers in a low-res haze. We're chasing ghosts through a digital maze. They want us polished, they want us clean, but we're the glitch inside the cold machine. I found your heart in a distorted line, where the analog and the soul entwine. Forget the filters and the neon glow. I love the parts of you that never show. The code, we're walking down a jagged road. It's great, it's beautifully flawed, like a basement anthem to a lonely god. In a world of plastic, you're my pixel aesthetic. Raw and electric, perfectly poetic. Not a high-def lie or a hollow display, but a grunt-soaked love that won't wash away. From the static of the city to the quiet of the rain, you're the only real thing running through my veins. My pixel aesthetic. Combat boots on a glass stone floor. We don't believe in the perfect anymore. Give me the grit, give me the frame, where the edges are blurred and we have no name. It's a 90s spirit in a brand new skin. The way you look when the dark sets in, like a fuzzbox pedal kicked into the red. You're the beautiful noise inside my head. In a world of plastic, you're my pixel aesthetic. Raw and electric, perfectly poetic. Not a high-def lie or a hollow display, but a grunge-soaked love that won't wash away. From the static of the city to the quiet of the rain, you're the only real thing running through my veins. My pixel aesthetic. Zoom in close until the colors bleed. You're every bit of truth that I'll ever need. It's not about the image, it's about the soul. The broken pixels that make us whole. You're my pixel aesthetic, raw and electric, perfectly poetic. Now high def fly or hollow display, but a grunge-soaked love that won't wash away. From the static of the city to the quiet of the rain, you're the only real thing running through my veins. My pixel aesthetic.
Resolution's fading, but you're crystal clear. Real music, real love, that's all we have here.
Static fills hallways where laughter should live. Nothing remains when there's nothing to give. Seconds stretched long like a shadow on walls. Footsteps go missing in echoing halls. Cold coffee sits on a table for two. Everything vivid is leaking its hue. Distance grows taller than mountains could climb. Waiting feels more like a sentence than time. Eyes meet a mirror and find someone new. Drowning in versions of wanting just you. Now it's quiet in the wrong way, heavy and deep. Secrets are promises no one can keep. Love is a bridge leading nowhere at all. Just a long way to look at a beautiful fall. One heart is screaming while one heart is stone. Learning how weak sounds when singing alone. Thoughts can stay dark in the palm of a hand. Castles of glass sinking down into sand. Dinner gets cold while the porch light stays bright, bleeding out slowly in blue tinted light. Words feel like lead when they're never received. Pain is a ghost that was never believed. Is there a sound for a spirit that breaks, lower than thunder or ripples on lakes? Maybe it's muffled, maybe it's small, like autumn leaves hitting a brick-covered wall. Yeah, it's quiet in the wrong way, heavy and deep. Secrets are promises no one can keep. Love is a bridge leading nowhere at all. Just a long way to look at a beautiful fall. One heart is screaming while one heart is stone. Learning how weak sounds when singing alone. Noisy in here, silent out there. Breath after breath of the thin, empty air. Quiet, wrong. The city hums with a hollow sound while we keep our heads in the underground. Beyond the glass towers and the synthetic light, there's a basement window burning through the night. I see the ink on your skin, the tear in your coat. I hear the raw honest gravel at the back of your throat. We don't need the glitter, we don't need the pose, just the thorns on the stem of a black petal rose. The mainstream is shallow, a sanitized sea, but you're the deep current pulling at me. It's heavy, it's visceral, it's jagged and wide, the kind of tectonic shift happening inside. In your radiant embrace, it's a beautiful wreck with the hum of the speakers and the weight on my neck. It's a crunch-colored fever, a distorted grace, finding my home in this holy space. For the kids in the garage and the ghosts on the street, this is the rhythm where the broken ones meet. Yeah, I'm lost in your radiant embrace. Black black denim, scuffed boots, and 1,000-yard stare. There's a revolution in the way that you care. It's not a soft ballad for the radio waves. It's the sound of the spirit digging out of the caves. Like a fuzz-drenched riff on a rusted-out string, you're the only anthem I'm willing to sing. Where the soul's out of style and the world is a lie. You're the heavy metal blue of a Pacific sky. Let the idols burn, let the polished walls fall. This love is a message scratched into the wall. It doesn't need a crown, it doesn't need a stage. It's the only honest word on a blackened page. And the weight on my neck, it's a grunge-colored fever, a distorted grace. Finding my home in this holy space. For the kids in the garage and the ghosts on the street, this is the rhythm where the broken ones meet. Yeah, I'm lost in your radiant embrace. So real it hurts. Real music for a real soul. Stay here, in the distortion, in the light. Radiant embrace. Rain hitting the window like a slow motion beat. The smell of wet pavement on a dead-end street. I found your name carved in a basement wall. Back when we swore we were 10 feet tall. Before the world got loud and the colors got thin. Before we let the cynical sunlight in. I'm digging through the static in the old cassette tapes, trying to find the ghosts of our hollow escapes. Do you feel the hum? Do you feel the sting of a heart that vibrates like a rusted string? It's not a soft glow, it's a lightning strike, the kind of jagged edge that we used to like. Remember the love that felt like a riot, the kind of noise that killed the quiet. Not a radio hit or a polished lie, but a heavy-hearted truth that refused to die. Between the flannel sleeves and the floorboard cracks, we were running forward, never looking back. If you're still out there, lost in the blue, remember the love, 'cause it remembers you. The radio's playing something shiny and hollow, a bitter pill that I refuse to swallow. I want the feedback, I want the ache, I want the kind of fever that refuses to break. Like the first time we stood in the front row mud and felt the low-end pulse like a second blood. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't refined, but it was the only thing could heal the mind. Remember the love that felt like a riot, the kind of noise that killed the quiet. Not a radio hit or a polished lie, but a heavy-hearted truth that refused to die. Between the flannel sleeves and the floorboard cracks, we were running forward, never looking back. If you're still out there, lost in the blue, remember the love, 'cause it remembers you. It's written in the scuffs on your favorite shoes. It's hidden in the chords that the radio loses. Love isn't easy, love isn't clean. It's the most alternative thing I've ever seen. Remember the love that felt like a riot, the kind of noise that killed the quiet. Not a radio hit or a polished lie, but a heavy-hearted truth that refused to die. Between the flannel sleeves and the floorboard cracks, we were running forward, never looking back. If you're still out there, lost in the blue, remember the love, 'cause it remembers you. Just remember, turn it up, let it bleed. It's the only real thing we'll ever need. Remember, remember. The stage is dusty and the cables are frayed. The best kind of songs are the ones never played. For the masses in the light or the Vanity Fair, I'd rather find the truth in your uncombed hair. The world's got a rhythm that's sterile and cold, a digital story that's already been told. But you're the feedback in a hollow room, a sudden flower in the industrial gloom. They're looking for diamonds, I'm looking for a grid, for the piece of the puzzle that doesn't quite fit. It's heavy, it's messy, it's torn at the seams, but it's the only sound that can haunt my dreams. You're my grunge rock anthem, my distorted soul, the beautiful fracture that makes me whole. Forget the violins and the velvet strings, I love the vibration that the low end brings. In a basement of shadows where the truth is free, you're the only symphony I'll ever need. Yeah, you're my symphony. Scuffed up sneakers and a thrift store coat, you're the raspy edge in a singer's throat. We don't need a conductor to tell us the time, we're living in the space between the prose and the rhyme. It's the way that you look when the amp starts to hum, the heartbeat clicking like a pocket watch drum. This isn't a ballad for the charts or the fame, it's a fire that doesn't need a brand or a name. You're my grunge rock anthem, my distorted soul, the beautiful fracture that makes me whole. Forget the violins and the velvet strings, I love the vibration that the low end brings. In a basement of shadows where the truth is free, you're the only symphony I'll ever need. I'll ever need. Let the pop songs fade into the white noise sky, let the polished versions of the world just die. We're the raw, we're the real, we're the underground line, where the love is heavy and the chords entwine. Play it loud! Play it loud! You're my grunge rock anthem, my distorted soul, the beautiful fracture that makes me whole. Forget the violins and the velvet strings, I love the vibration that the low end brings. In a basement of shadows where the truth is free, you're the only symphony I'll ever need. You're my symphony, my alternative love, my 2020 superstar. Real music never falls apart. Just let it ring. I'm still checking the lock, though I know you won't turn it. I built us a bridge just to watch as you burn it. I'm a ghost in your hallway, a shadow on the floor, waiting for a rhythm that doesn't live here anymore. I memorize the way you look when you're looking away, collecting all the heavy words I'm too afraid to say. I'm a footnote in a chapter you've already read, living in the silence of the things we never said. And it's the sound of a door closing soft and slow, the echoes of a heart that has nowhere left to go. I'm screaming in the hallway, but you don't hear a thing, just a hollow heavy vibration that a goodbye brings. I'm holding on to handles while you're letting go of keys, falling for a person who's already on their knees to leave. I dress up in the colors I think you might like, but I'm a flatline on your radar, a ghost on your bike. I'm a maybe in your schedule, a later in your head, but you're the only story that I've ever truly read. Is there a way to unlove the way you say my name, to put the fire out without feeling the flame? You aren't being mean, you're just being gone, and I'm the only one left here waiting for the dawn. Closing soft and slow, the echoes of a heart that has nowhere left to go. I'm screaming in the hallway, but you don't hear a thing, just a hollow heavy vibration that a goodbye brings. Click, that's the only part that stayed, the sound of a choice that you already made. I'm on the outside looking at the wood, wishing I could hate you, God, I wish I could. The door is closed, and I'm still here. Heavy on shoulders of glass, slow shadows flicker while long hours pass. Gold turns to iron on skin left untouched, holding a memory once tightly clutched. Brightness is blinding when vision is blurred, music is lonely but never been heard. Morning is gravity pulling down deep, promise is broken before any sleep. Reaching for warmth only meets with the glare, breathing in nothing but thin empty air. Weight of light crushing and cold, stories of us are now bitter, and oh, one side is fire, one side is stone, burning in rooms while remaining alone. Daybreak is coming to show what is lost, counting a love at a terrible cost, counting a love at a terrible cost. Dust motes are dancing and beams on the floor, nobody knocks on a locked heavy door. Yellow is cruel and her spirit is gray, words lose their meaning with nothing to say. Vividness hurts when a heart is so hollow, bitter is every last drop left to swallow. Is there a darkness where pressure will end, broken beyond any power to mend. Maybe the moon is a kinder sort of glow, hiding the things that a soul shouldn't know. Weight of light crushing and cold stories of us are now bitter, and on one side is fire, one side is stone, burning in rooms while remaining alone. Daybreak is coming to show what is lost, counting a love at a terrible cost, counting a love at a terrible cost. Shine on the wreck, nothing left now, laying bright, empty and hollow. Snowberries, footprints across a dark floor. Nothing feels warm in this house anymore. Vision goes blurry as white fills the room. Every bright memory is meeting its doom. Miles stretch between us in one single bed. Everything honest is left quite unsaid. Maps lead to nowhere but circles of gray. Hope is a bird that has flown far away, reaching for fingers that feel like thin ice, paying for love at a terrible price. Lost in a whiteout, blinded by grace, searching for ghosts of a familiar face. One side is burning, one side is numb, waiting for feelings that never will come. Compass is broken and pointing to you, drowning in shades of a frozen deep blue. Wind howls and rhythms that sound like your name. Nothing feels right since the winter time came. I stay wide open, but can I see through? Searching for a light in a world without you. Printers to crystals that shatter on stone, learning how we turn to mostly alone. Is there a shelter from silence this loud, hiding like stars tucked behind a thick cloud? Maybe the cold is a mercy or shroud, lost in a whiteout, lonely and proud. Lost in a whiteout, blinded by grace, searching for ghosts of a familiar face. One side is burning, one side is numb, waiting for feelings that never will come. Compass is broken and pointing to you, drowning in shades of a frozen deep blue. Vision is gone, winter is long, singing a one-sided, shivering song.